The plot-convenient truck runs him over. Right in front of her, too, which is actually kind of crazy.
This is a pretty hardcore origin story.
Yeah, it's just been a week, right? I haven't been gone for that long.
Yo, where the fuck you been, nigga?
Bro, I just got out of jail. Where's the bitches?
Yeah, it's only been maybe a week or two, right? So I was cooking on my first manga review of a series I enjoyed, and while taking a break, I decided to look through my list of manga that I haven't read yet, and picked up this bad boy. No, not this! Aww. Anyways, I finally gave this manga a read since I've been putting it off due to it being relatively new, and holy shit, I should have started sooner. Now, I'm going to go over the first chapter, to give it a setup of the story. Then I'm going to quickly go over the story so far and talk about it for a bit. By the time I'm making this video, it's currently on chapter 26. I'm definitely going to make another video about the series once it's concluded. So let me stop dragging on this intro, and let's talk about Maria no Danzai, a new manga series written by Kazuki and illustrated by Junto Kamejima, about a mother seeking revenge for her son's death after he was killed by a group of kids he was bullied by. The story starts 2 years in the past. Loving mother Mari Nagare is preparing her son's bento very carefully until she is startled by him as he enters the kitchen. Her son, Kiritaka Nagare, after apologizing for startling her, tells his mom she doesn't have to do so much for him in the morning. After having a bit of a minor disagreement with the quality of the food, Kiritaka reassures his mom that her cooking is the best and that she shouldn't worry, which makes Mari really happy. Fast forward in Kiritaka's middle school, he's in the shed, tied up, getting beat up, and humiliated by a group of kids in his grade. The kids with him are Ajiki Muta, Shikimi Kumuro, Kinugawa Chiyoshi, and Kawase Tsubasa. After being kicked repeatedly by this certified crash out over here, Kiritaka unfortunately pisses himself as a result, which makes Kinugawa just start crashing out and kicking the shit out of him. Now this guy's genuinely a weirdo though. How do you see this dude piss himself? And you see the pee, the dude, look at the manga panel, bro. The dude is literally watching the piss stream to his shoe and he didn't move. You're weird. What? And as the gang comment on his innate ability of crashing out, he's interrupted by a kid named Okaya Nozumu. And I mean, this guy's the group leader. You could just tell from this panel alone. Who reminds him to not hit his face and threatens him that if he ever goes off script, he will stop being friends with him. Okaya focuses attention to Kiritaka and after looking at his lunch, kicks his bento into pieces, adding insects, and after scaring him with it, force feeds it to him. Yeah, that's gross. Kiritaka is then left alone in the shed as he picks up his bento from the floor and eats it. Meanwhile, the group are walking in the hallway talking about Kiritaka as they make their way to their next victim, a kid named Yuta. Kinugawa pulls on the cord and proceeds to hang Yuta in the bathroom stalls, begging him to stop until he is saved by Kiritaka. I'm sorry, but at this point, isn't this just attempted murder? Shouldn't you be going to the police? I'm pretty sure if you told the police officer that these kids are trying to hang me, they would side with you, right? No? Annoyed by this, Okaya asks Kiritaka if he'd like to take his place, both eyeing each other down. Before just leaving it at that, I guess. I don't really know. The manga panel just kind of abruptly cuts it off. Kiritaka hides his trouble before entering home, and he's greeted with celebration from his mom, as it's his 14th birthday. He tries to make an excuse, saying he just tripped, it was an accident, and brushes it off completely. Though Mari doesn't buy it, and she still takes care of him. While treating his bruise, she tells him she actually wanted to be a school nurse in the past due to being bullied. The school nurse allowed her to be present there, and she felt a place of belonging since Mari was an orphan. Mari reveals she actually has the qualifications for being a nursing teacher. Kiritaka asks why did she give up on her dream, which Mari then tells her son that she received a family member that she wants to protect above anything else. Those words resonate with him as he too wants to protect his mother's smile. Later, Mari is on the phone with her husband, Taichiro Nagare, explaining to him that she feels suspicious of Kiritaka's behavior, which is brushed aside by him, saying he's in middle school and he's gotta have some privacy and perhaps she might be a little too overprotective. Before ending the call, attending back to his job, which leaves Mari a bit dissatisfied since that wasn't the problem she was referring to. And oh boy, this guy is... Let me hold it in, okay? Well, we'll get to him in a moment. At night in his bed, Kiritaka plays some games on his phone as he thinks about his mom, and If she were to ever find out about his bullying situation, she would definitely storm in his school, which would only make things worse. He then receives a message from one of his bullies, a fake lewd video of his mom with follow-up text saying to arrive at the observatory. Not really having much of a choice, he sneaks out quietly, but as he leaves, Mari slowly wakes up from his footsteps and the door. He makes it to the observatory and sees the whole group there waiting for him. They make sexual remarks about his mom, which Kiritaka tells them to shut up, resulting in them laughing at him. Okoya calls for his attention and tells him to stop looking at him with those eyes of defiance. And after complying, he threatens him with the fake video of his mom being uploaded on Kiritaka's account, as he displays his phone showing he's one click away. Kiritaka, crying and on his knees, says no, to which Okoya gives him a choice. Jump off the cliff from the observatory, and he'll delete the video. Worried he might die, Okoya says the most he'll have is like a few broken bones, and after telling him to leave his shoes behind, he starts counting down and Kiritaka just bolts to the cliff, no hesitation. Real talk though, you gotta commend how much of a G Kiritaka is. This dude would rather jump off a cliff than post a fake video of his mother. This video isn't real, alright? I wanna make that very clear. He could just say that the video was fake or I got hacked. No, the dude would rather jump off the cliff than bring shame to his family. That is some real shit. The guy stayed 10 toes down no matter the scenario. And I gotta commend it, you know? You gotta commend something like that. This is like going to your nearest low-income neighborhood and asking them,
"When you suck dick, let your mama die." Bruh, that nigga gonna get the best head of his life, yeah?
Alright, let me stop yapping and continue. Back to Kiritaka's mom, she too is out in the cold trying to find her son by tracking his phone. And to her horror, sees him on the road with broken legs. Kiritaka, on the road and with broken legs, sees his mom, and before he's even able to call out to her, the plot-convenient truck runs him over. Right in front of her too, which is actually kinda crazy.
This is a pretty hardcore origin story.
Mari runs over to her son, holding his remains, screaming out for him to come back. Back up the cliff, the group panics, saying they have to flee the scene before they're caught. Okoya, however, looks over the railing, looking a bit disappointed, as he not only let Kiritaka win, but he escaped. Back at home, Mari is laying in bed holding what appears to be Kiritaka's urn, and Taichiro by the door tries to say that it was ruled a suicide, but Mari interrupts, saying, "No, they were the killers," to which he apologizes to her for failing to protect him. Mari contemplates to herself, wondering what she did to drive her son to suicide, as evidence from social media and notes found at the observatory say this is a case of abuse. Regardless of the reason, she is guilty for failing to protect her child, and after accidentally cutting herself when cooking, she glances at the knife and her fingers very intently. And right as she goes to slice her fingers off, some clatter is heard from Kiritaka's room. Mari picks up the books that fell from her son's bag and notices she lifted his diary. As she read the content of his diary, she was stunned with logs of him describing his torment from a group of kids, and following the details of his diary, she found a USB that was hiding in his drawer. Mari plugs in the USB to a laptop and clicks a video labeled December 3rd, which shows Kiritaka writing "I'm sorry" and "I'll kill myself" over and over, because if he doesn't, it'll result in a rabbit getting killed. Upon seeing this, Mari stares soullessly at the screen as she realizes the suicide note was forcefully written. She then clicks another video, and another video, and another, clicking the mouse with more rage. Kiritaka calls them all demons who worship Okoya Nozumu, the leader. You know, like I said. He's the remaining person who he must gather evidence on so he could report them. Kiritaka writes that he hopes the bullying will be resolved soon, as he doesn't want his mom to be worried about him anymore, which brings Mari to tears as she reads this. Kiritaka notes that he must get his revenge, and as Mari looks back at the laptop, now seeing her son eating trash, she states that revenge is far too faint, and that they deserve judgment. 2 years pass and the students are talking about a new school nurse from abroad that is so commendable that she has made a positive impact on students, as they feel as if they could connect with her, nicknaming her the Maria of the nurse office. Apparently, during the 2-year span, Mari had fulfilled her qualifications abroad of being a nurse, divorced her husband, changed her name back to her maiden one, became a recluse, and had a full makeover to change her appearance in order to not be recognized by anyone, specifically the kids who hurt her son. And how exactly did she successfully infiltrate the school, you may ask? Well...
Oh my god.
She snuck off the reservation to get some dirty, damp, and deep.
She confiscates Kawase's phone while he's in the middle of a shakedown of a girl named Yajima, though Maria plays dumb about it and pretends she doesn't see anything. After hacking his phone and viewing the vile content, she remains quiet, and after arriving home, she prays to a shrine of her son that she made, before hugging a photo of Kiritaka as she lays in bed, telling him she'll try her best. Now hold on, I got a bit of a confession, alright? When I first saw this panel and how she positioned herself like this, I thought she was about to get a freak on. And I know I'm feeling ashamed thinking that too, but alright, hear me out. The only reason I thought this is because of the weird out of place sex jokes that they had in the beginning of chapter 2. Like, look at this! Like, bro, what is this? If I tell him that I don't want to do a role, he gets disappointed? Like, come on, you cannot blame me for me thinking that way when I'm getting jokes like this, okay?
Besides, you basically told me to.
I told you to?
You strongly hinted that I should.
And when we get to this area, I know it just naturally occurred to me. The thought just naturally occurred to me. I mean, personally, it's not something I want to see, but it's not completely out of her character, you know? I'm not saying she should do it.
But you know what? Even if he did do it, you know what I mean?
let's just move on for my sake, you know?
Let's not get lost in the who, what, and whens.
While Kawase counts the money of the girl he shook down earlier, receives a video of him masturbating and a video of Kiritaka that was supposed to be deleted with blackmailing text. Kawase is over here shitting bricks trying to find the culprit, and meanwhile the girl from earlier, Yajima, heads to the infirmary where Maria is at, asking for advice for her situation, but obviously not saying it outright. And after reassuring Yajima that she could always run to her if she needs protection, she tries to do that when Kawase tries to harass her, but this makes him believe that she's the culprit who was blackmailing him. And after some interrogating, Kawase panics as Yajima used to give in to his bullshit, but now is rebelling. And after trying to drown her, she is unintentionally saved by Maria. She kidnaps him to a location she calls the penitentiary. Kawase's wrist is trapped with a 4-digit password and a cleaver hanging right next to him. Maria explains that the password is his greatest crime, and if he types the correct number sequence, he can escape. However, if he can't manage that, he can always slice off his wrist and escape that way. But wait, there's more. If he doesn't do either, he's submerged by water and he drowns. And after failing to guess the password and slicing off his wrist, he drowns. This begins to start a domino effect of deaths, which gets even the police involved, who, coincidentally, the person behind this investigation is her former husband. Alright, so here we get confirmation of what Kiritaka's father does, and apparently he's an investigator and also works with the police, right? So like, what makes me disappointed with this dude is the fact that, alright, so you're an investigator, okay? And you weren't the first one to maybe like think, you know what, I don't think this is suicide. My wife took care of my son very good. There is no way. Like, he didn't even bother to look at his stuff. Mari looked into her son's bag and found his diary. That was apparently just right there. And the investigator, you know, the police investigator did not look into his son's bag at all. Man, Mari ain't got nothing to cry over for this dude, bro. This dude's a failure. How'd you not see this? Anyways, as I'm recording this, she's killed a total of 2 of the 5 students responsible for her son's death, and is in the process of killing the 3rd. As of how she kills them off, it's in a very Jigsaw kind of way.
Your final service.
So that's entertaining to see. So far, my favorite death is probably Shikimi, as not only was that method pretty brutal, the introduction of Yuta again actually took me by surprise. Like, I was not expecting that character to make a return. I thought it was just a one and done deal. Those chapters also made it interesting by drawing a line in the sand. Instead of Maria just killing anyone out of inconvenience, she is restrained by her son's spirit. Or something like that, I don't really know. I think the Kiritaka spirit seeking vengeance thing would work really well, and it also would explain why the books, you know, just plopped over in the first chapter for like no reason. Though it can also easily ruin the plot at the same time, so I think having it a bit ambiguous, of it either being his spirit or just his mom tweaking, is good enough. Another thing I want to point out is the pacing. I think the pacing is actually nice and quick, though sometimes I feel like it's going a bit too fast. If I had to guess, this series might end at around chapter 60 to 70. Maybe like 100 if you want to drag out the final kill. and Maria getting investigated, but given the pacing, I don't think so. Lastly, I don't want to really predict anything because I don't want to set any expectations. I will say that I do hope this does get a good ending, in the sense that Maria gets away with the crime, or at the very least kills them. I believe she does deserve a good ending, especially with how much effort she has put into this plan of hers. And for it to just fail or blow up in her face, I believe that would just be really unsatisfying. Anyways, that is all I wanted to talk about Maria no Danzai. I would highly recommend you check this out, especially right now since it's still ongoing. And yeah. Sorry for the late upload, guys. Given my situation at the moment and my shitternet that I currently have, I am currently uploading this through my phone's hotspot. And yeah, I expect a little bit of a delayed videos, at least until my new internet provider comes in. I was thinking about maybe streaming Stellar Blade because I haven't touched that game in a while, but I mean, like, streaming with my internet is not gonna happen. At least not right now. So we're gonna have to put a pin in that. Anyways, I hope you guys stayed all the way to the end, and I will catch you all in the next video. See ya.